Illustrator tutorial, and today I'm gonna teaching you how you can use the eraser tools, scissors, and knife tools in Illustrator. I'm gonna also put a timestamp below, like what are the other features that we use, because I use some of the features aside from those I mentioned earlier. So I'm gonna put the information in the timestamp. So again, let's type it to my computer. 1, 2, 3. So in this graphics, I want to delete these 3 elements, and we will be using eraser tools in here and also the slice tools. I'll show you how that works. And I'm going to also put a timestamp of the features and tools that we are using on this tutorial so you have a guide. So first, I just want to minimize the artwork so you don't really need the other spaces there. So I'm going to minimize that. And then if you notice in here, even though we already minimized our artboard, there's still a white there. So like there's still a white background of that because there is an extra layer. If you can see, if you go into the layers area, there's still an extra white layers behind this graphics. And in order, if ever this part is not visible on your end, simply go to the windows and click the layers, okay? And click this layer tab. So I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so we already have this clean thing. And I want to use these hand tools. So let's grab that. Okay, now we'll start removing these books there and other elements. So just remove that. You can. Okay, so let's start erasing this. I find it so small. So if you want to make it bigger, you can double click it and then just adjust the size. There. Okay. And then the other one here that's called roundness of the eraser. I mean, it's just a matter of the shaping actually. So yeah. So anyway, let me just start erasing this part. Now here's the thing in here. There's some stuff that, I mean, I don't want to erase the green one. I just want to erase the blue thing. So what are you going to do is you go back to the layer tab and make sure that the green is locked. So I'm going to lock that and then start. Let me just lock that and start deleting it. So make sure if you don't want to erase a layer behind the layer that you are erasing, make sure you lock that layers. Okay, so we'll start on this part here. Okay, and okay, all right, so already erased that. We're good on that already. Let me just make that rounded. It looks a bit weird actually. Let's go back. Okay, that's more rounded. Okay, so here I'm gonna unlock that again and erase it. Okay, now this part I don't want to use a eraser tools because that will break the layout. I mean that bubble thing there. So what I'm gonna use is a Scissor. All right, so let's go back to the tools section. So in case you're not seeing all of these tools in here and it's not visible on your end, like if it is simplified, simply go to the windows and make sure that your toolbars is set to advanced. I believe it is set by basic. I mean, the default is basic because those tools are kind of look overwhelming if you are a beginner in Illustrator. But for me, even though I am a beginner in Illustrator, I just find it more sense for me to use the advanced tools because I can hardly find what I need when I am doing something using these 3 dots in here. So yeah, I just prefer the toolbar advanced setup. Like it's still a case to case basis, but for me, I prefer to use the advanced thing. So what we're gonna do is I will choose the group selection tools. Click this part here, this green one, to select the entire layer of this green thing. And in case this is not visible on your end, but I believe it will if you use the advanced. But in case if not, simply go to the edit section, go to the keyword and shortcuts, and find the group selection tools. Okay, you can also set a shortcuts if you want. So for example, you want to use a G and click the OK. And yes, so if I click this selection tool V here, so if you can see this arrow, it is a block arrow. But if I type in G, it turns to white. So G basically means a group selection tool. Okay. Now, as I said, we will be using a scissor for this one to slice these extra branches there. So let's go into the, where is the scissor? So this one. So I'm going to use scissor. We'll also check this knife as well, how it is different with the scissor. So I'm going to click this scissor here, and you need to point that. So this is what things get confused. Let me just emphasize this part. Now, if you click this pen tool here and you choose the pen tool, let me double click that. So if you can see here, like there is some anchor points in here. If you point these scissors into the anchor points, your scissor will not work because these are the end anchors of this layer or this shape. So if we try this one, like I said, let's try to point that. You can see this warning here. Please use the scissor tool on a segment or an anchor point, but not an end point. So these are end points of, yeah, this, we call that, these points here are endpoints. Okay, so make sure that you use it on an anchor. It's, you can use it in every anchor. I mean, you can use it in here as long as it's not an endpoint, that will work. But since these 2 points are ending points, you cannot use it. So I'm gonna choose to put it beside this ending anchor points. So if you can see here, you can see these white lines that drop at the end of the shape. Now, if you use again the group tools and we drag this out, you'll see that it is slice. Okay, that's how you can use the scissor. Now, let's try to use the knife. Okay, so the knife here, if we draw that, now knife doesn't have an anchor thing, so you just need to slice. So I'm gonna draw there, and it's just so hard for me to really adjust the knife. So like that, we have that. And if we slice this now, okay, so if we do that, click the selection tool here. What the heck? Okay, so I drag it there and you see there's lines here. This is the knife. Actually, these are already separated. So if I drag that, how can I? Yeah, so drag that. They are separated in three section. Like, yeah, three section. I just find the knife a bit hard to slice something. I haven't familiarized this yet, so I don't recommend you to use it. So yeah, let's just stick to the scissor one. So I can try to play around with the knife and come up with another tutorial for that, so I can give you a detailed way how to use the knife thing. But for me, on this case, the scissor works better than the knife. So let's start slicing that there. It's so easy versus on the knife. Actually, let me just control Z that. If you want to undo specific actions that you did, make sure you click the control Z or command Z for Mac. So again, scissor, we have that, group tools, and I just want this to be remove. So here, like if you see here, it's already removed. So I'm going to remove that. Okay. So we already remove it, but I just find this slicing a little bit weird. So if that happens, you can always use the pen tool to adjust the points. Okay. So I will double click that here to see the anchor points. Yeah. So here's the anchor point. So I want to do something like that. So that's it. That's basically how you can do that. Hope it helps. And if you have any question or concern, leave me a comment down below. Thank you.